What's up everyone? So in today's video I want to show you how I maintain my plants here at the greenhouse. So this is gonna be a chill video. I won't be talking much, hopefully, and I want to show you how I maintain my plants. So I wanted to show you guys this plant of mine, this Graptopetala paraguayense. It recently had mealybugs, and I wanted to show you how I'm gonna fix it. So first, let's check for pests. Here. Okay, I found one here. I'll show you that. See that? That's a mealybug right there. Okay, so let me just take it. So I've managed to take the mealybug, but I can't get the camera to focus. So I squished it as I was taking it. So yeah, there's one. So I think I'm seeing some here, and I'm just gonna take it. So I would say that these snippers, or you might call it snippers or little tongs, I think that they're very useful for these type of tasks when you're getting into little nooks and crannies in your plants and looking for pests. The sharp tips of these are very good for taking out mealybugs. Now it's only after clearing the mealybugs would I go into the second step, and that is using insecticides on my plants just to make sure that they don't come back. As you can see, I'm using Starkle G, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it right where the roots are of these plants. Later on, when I'm watering these plants, I will be watering them from the top so that the Starkle G can go into the potting mix and into the roots. So this is the next plant that we're gonna be dealing with, the Sedeveria letizia. Recently, one of the heads got stem rot, and I'm gonna cut it off today. See that rotten part? So we're gonna cut that off. So that's where the roots started growing. I removed some of the roots because there was rot on the stem still, but there are still roots here, which means the stem up here must be still good, still viable. So we're gonna let this dry out and we're gonna replant it. And this is the other. Let me just take out the rest of the dead stem. So that is the dead stem. I think it's still connected to the main plant. So we're gonna leave that. It's very dry. Okay, there's another propagation here. There's a lot of air roots. I think I'm gonna leave a space here so that I can replant this back on there. So now we're done with the maintenance. I think I'm gonna go through my plants and I'm gonna look for the plants that I will be watering tonight, because I water every night and not during the day because it's still hot. So I'm also gonna be taking plants from here so that I will know what to water tonight when it's dark already. So as you see here, I'm using this tool which comes in Succulent tool sets, and this is what I use for checking my plants if they're dry, and I really check thoroughly. And while I was actually checking the sedum, it just popped off, so I'm gonna have to replant it and I'm gonna water it later so that it can establish more. But yeah, if you're not using this tool, then you can also use a stick. You can clean up a chopstick and use it to check if your potting mix is dry already in their pots. So now I think what we'll do next is we're gonna clean up some dried leaves off of my succulents so that we can keep their rosettes maintained, and they will they will be less prone to insects if we're cleaning up their leaves regularly. So I'm gonna show you that. So I will also be plucking out these mushrooms because they're dried already, but so far they haven't been very damaging to my plants. I think they don't do anything to my plants. You can also notice that some of the leaves, if they're not getting pulled out very easily, that I'm leaving them because they still might have energy to help the plant if they're still connected, if they're still not thoroughly dried up. Now, if your plant is losing a lot of leaves, don't worry about it. It might only mean that the plant is still rooting, but as long as it's not losing its rosette, then you don't have to panic. So here they are. Here are all the leaves that I've managed to remove from my plants. I'm going to be throwing this out. Also, I would like to share with you guys an update on our lithops. You can see that this plant dropped. Okay, a friend of mine dropped this plant and it got damaged on its leaves. So I wasn't watering it because I was afraid it might get rot, and also as the other plant is splitting, I wasn't watering this one. So it's not looking so good, but I'm hoping that it will plump back up. But this plant, the splitting one, I think it's looking good. So I read somewhere that you shouldn't water splitting lithops because what I heard is it interrupts the cycle of the plant shedding its older leaves. So I wasn't watering this, but you can see that the new growth is very healthy even without watering. So if this one dies, then that's goodbye. Okay, so since now I'm done with the maintenance, you can see that it doesn't take a very long time for me to maintain. I think it didn't even took about an hour to maintain my greenhouse. So that's just basically what I do every day with my plants. I'm just gonna check what needs watering and what needs to be cleaned up and what needs to be maintained with pests. So that's about my activity for every time I go into the greenhouse. So that's about my maintenance, guys. So I hope this was relaxing for you. Also, before we end this video, I wanted to answer some of your questions. One viewer recently asked me what would my advice be for those who are trying to buy succulents in the middle of the summer. So currently going into May and going into June, it will be generally much hotter than the other months, so it will be in the middle of summer. So I would actually recommend you buy only a few plants. I would not recommend that you buy a lot of plants during the heat of the summer because it will be a harder time for you to acclimate them. What I would recommend though, if you really want to buy succulents, is that you avoid those heat sensitive types, or for example sedums, small leaf sedums. They might take a while before they can acclimate, and actually small leaf sedums might need a little more protection, so you might want to invest in a greenhouse like this before you buy small leaf succulents generally. Also, I would recommend that you buy more succulents that are more active during the summer months, so during the course of the heat of the summer, like echeverias, agaves, cacti. I think grapteverias could also be good because grapteverias are more tolerable of heat than sedums. It might be better if you grow grapteverias during this time of the year. I would also recommend that you protect your succulents from the heat. So if you really want to buy a lot, then you might want to invest in filters, in garden nets like this, so that you can protect your succulents from extreme heat. Especially when they are not rooted, they are more prone to sunburn than if they are established. Also, some viewers are asking how they can support the channel, so I think this would be a good time to announce that I'm planning to make custom merch for you guys. So custom mugs, custom t-shirts. I think I will be going into custom stickers. So if you want to see me design those type of things, mugs, t-shirts, so that you can support the channel by buying those merch, just hit me at the comments below if you really wanted that, if you wanted some custom designs. And I think once that's done, I'm gonna post it up on my Facebook and on my Instagram. So make sure to follow me on my Facebook page and on my Instagram page. They're both named Kale Plants, so I think you wouldn't be confused once you saw them on those social media platforms. So I will be posting those custom merch on there. So if you wanna buy that soon, you can just follow at that page and that Instagram page. So I think that's about it for our video for this weekend, guys. Hope you have a fun and relaxing weekend this week, and I will see you on our next tutorials next week. Bye bye.